Aging isn't just about genetics. It's a system-wide process, and one of its most powerful regulators is the gut. Today, we understand that the gut is more than a digestive organ. It's a command center for immune function, hormonal balance, and even brain health. The state of your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living inside you, plays a critical role in how quickly or slowly you age. When the gut is compromised, something profound happens, a breakdown of the gut barrier. This leads to a condition known as leaky gut, where unwanted particles like toxins and bacteria enter the bloodstream. The immune system responds with inflammation, not the kind that heals, but chronic, low-grade inflammation that silently erodes your tissues over time. This process speeds up aging at every level, from the skin and joints to your brain and cardiovascular system. But here's the good news. Your gut is highly adaptable. When we feed it the right nutrients, align it with the natural circadian rhythm, and reduce stress, we begin to restore integrity to the gut barrier. Beneficial microbes thrive, inflammation decreases, and your body begins to heal from the inside out. In this talk, we'll explore science-backed strategies to heal your gut, measure biological aging, and activate longevity, all through simple, actionable changes to how you eat, sleep, and live. Because aging is inevitable, premature aging is not. Let's start at the root, the gut. Reducing inflammation at the cellular level. Chronic inflammation is one of the most reliable predictors of accelerated aging. When the digestive environment is disrupted due to poor diet, stress, antibiotics, or irregular sleep, it can lead to microbial imbalances, a condition known as dysbiosis. This state is often associated with increased permeability in the intestinal lining, which can allow bacterial endotoxins to enter the bloodstream. Once these inflammatory molecules circulate systemically, the immune system becomes persistently activated. Over time, this low-grade inflammation damages tissues and accelerates senescence, the process where cells stop dividing and begin secreting harmful substances. These senescent cells accumulate with age and contribute to the decline in organ function and appearance of age diseases. What's especially striking is how this internal disruption affects areas that seem unrelated to digestion, like the skin, brain, and joints. Collagen breakdown, cognitive fog, insulin resistance, and even mood instability can all be traced back in part to the state of the microbial community and immune signaling originating from the gut. Modern science now allows us to measure this systemic inflammatory burden and trace it to gut-derived triggers. Intervening at this level, not with medications, but with targeted lifestyle changes, opens a path to modulating aging from the inside out. In short, by supporting the microbial environment within the gut and maintaining the integrity of the digestive lining, we can dramatically reduce inflammatory pressure on the body, slowing the processes that lead to premature aging, not just symptomatically, but biologically. Within the human digestive system lives an incredibly diverse and dynamic population of microorganisms. These microbes play essential roles in nutrient absorption, immune function, and metabolic regulation. But their influence extends further to the very mechanisms that determine how the body ages over time. When this microbial community is well balanced and diverse, it produces powerful compounds that contribute to long-term cellular health. Among the most beneficial of these are short-chain fatty acids, particularly butyrate. This molecule, produced through the fermentation of dietary fiber by certain gut bacteria, acts as fuel for colon cells, strengthens the intestinal lining, and exhibits anti-inflammatory properties. More importantly, butyrate influences gene expression related to cell repair and stress resistance, two processes that are deeply tied to how the body ages. As people get older, the diversity and stability of these microbial populations often decline, especially when exposed to processed diets, poor sleep, chronic stress, and antibiotic overuse. This microbial shift can reduce the production of key metabolites and trigger immune dysregulation. As beneficial organisms decrease, harmful species can take over, generating inflammatory signals that affect organs well beyond the gut, particularly the brain, heart, and skin. The ripple effects are profound. For instance, diminished microbial health can lead to neuroinflammation, which contributes to cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases. It can also impact insulin sensitivity, increasing the risk of metabolic disorders that are strongly associated with accelerated aging. Even mitochondrial function, crucial for cellular energy production and longevity, is influenced by the metabolic signals originating from these gut microorganisms. Interestingly, people who live exceptionally long and healthy lives often show a unique microbial profile, marked by richness, resilience, and stability. Their microbiota continue to produce beneficial compounds that maintain immune balance, reduce oxidative stress, and support hormonal function well into advanced age. The practical implication is clear. The makeup and activity of gut microbes can either amplify or dampen the biological processes of aging. By consciously shaping the internal environment through nutrition, movement, circadian rhythm alignment, and stress control, it's possible to support these microorganisms in producing the signals and compounds that help the body stay younger long. Rather than treating aging as an inevitable decline, we can now approach it as a dynamic process, one that is actively shaped by what happens within this microscopic ecosystem. The lining of the digestive tract serves as one of the body's most important defense systems. It acts as a selective barrier, allowing nutrients and beneficial compounds to pass into the bloodstream while keeping harmful substances, pathogens, and undigested food particles out. This barrier is made up of a single layer of tightly joined epithelial cells, supported by mucus, immune cells, and beneficial bacteria that help maintain its integrity. However, when this protective system becomes compromised, problems begin to arise. Factors such as high sugar diets, chronic stress, alcohol, poor sleep, and certain medications can weaken the structure of the gut lining. When this happens, it becomes more permeable than it should be. Microscopic gaps form between the cells, allowing particles that are meant to stay inside the gut to enter the bloodstream. The immune system immediately recognizes these foreign particles as threats, triggering a response designed to neutralize them. While this mechanism is essential in acute situations, persistent exposure leads to something more problematic: continuous immune activation. Over time, this constant signaling burdens the immune system, contributing to a state of ongoing cellular stress. This has wide-ranging consequences. Tissues throughout the body, from the brain to the skin, begin to experience the effects of this internal stress. People may notice increased fatigue, skin issues, joint pain, or difficulty concentrating. Over the long term, this persistent immune response contributes to early signs of biological aging and increases the risk of chronic diseases such as diabetes, cardiovascular disorders, and neurodegeneration. Additionally, the imbalance in gut lining function often goes hand in hand with disruptions in the microbial ecosystem. Harmful bacteria may begin to proliferate, producing toxins that further weaken the gut's structural integrity. The result is a reinforcing cycle. Weakened barriers lead to immune stress, which leads to more damage, which leads to further dysfunction. Fortunately, the body is equipped with powerful regenerative mechanisms. When supported with fiber-rich foods, anti-inflammatory nutrients, stress reduction, and adequate sleep, the gut lining begins to rebuild. Strengthening this barrier restores immune balance, reduces harmful signaling, and supports the body's natural anti-aging processes. Understanding and protecting this internal boundary is not just a matter of digestive health, it's a foundational strategy for preserving energy, clarity, and resilience over time. The state of the digestive system is not solely determined by genetics or medication. In fact, everyday choices, what we eat, how we sleep, how we move, and how we manage stress, play a decisive role in shaping the internal environment of the gut. and the biological systems it influences. Nutrition is one of the most powerful tools. Diets rich in whole, unprocessed plant foods provide the necessary fuel for beneficial microbes to thrive. These foods contain complex fibers and polyphenols, which are not digestible by human enzymes, but are fermented by gut bacteria into metabolites that support immune function, hormone balance, and cognitive clarity. On the other hand, highly processed foods high in sugar, refined oils, and artificial additives tend to feed harmful bacteria and disrupt microbial balance. Sleep is another critical factor. The gut and the brain are in constant communication, and this connection is deeply influenced by the sleep-wake cycle. Disrupted or insufficient sleep impairs the body's ability to maintain a healthy digestive rhythm, alter microbial composition, and repair the gut lining. Just one night of poor sleep can negatively impact the diversity of gut bacteria and promote imbalances that ripple through the entire system. Movement also plays a role. Moderate, consistent physical activity enhances circulation to the digestive organs, improves transit time, and stimulates microbial diversity. Exercise has been shown to increase the presence of beneficial bacterial species that are associated with lower inflammation and improved metabolic function. Notably, these benefits are seen even without extreme training. Simple daily movement is enough to initiate positive change. Perhaps most underestimated is the impact of stress. Chronic psychological stress triggers hormonal responses that impair digestion, reduce stomach acid, and disrupt the gut barrier. It also shifts microbial composition towards species associated with higher inflammation and lower resilience. Practices such as meditation, deep breathing, time in nature, and even social connection can mitigate these effects by calming the nervous system and restoring balance to gut-brain communication. Each of these lifestyle elements functions like a dial that can be turned up or down to support internal healing. When combined, they create a compounding effect, restoring microbial harmony, reducing inflammatory triggers, and creating the conditions for improved vitality, better cognition, and slowed biological aging. These everyday actions are not just habits, they are signals, direct messages to your biology, shaping how you function and how well you age. Understanding how internal systems influence the rate of aging is no longer limited to guesswork or vague symptoms. Advances in health science now allow us to track biological changes in real time, giving us powerful tools to assess how dietary, sleep, and lifestyle interventions impact long-term health and resilience. One of the most telling indicators is inflammation, particularly at the low-grade, chronic level. This can be tracked through simple blood markers such as creek reactive protein, CRP, and interleukin-6, IL-6. Elevated levels of these compounds often reflect hidden stress on the immune system and are closely associated with accelerated aging, cardiovascular risk, and reduced cognitive performance. Improvements in nutrition, sleep quality, and gut repair often lead to measurable reductions in these markers, providing a tangible way to track progress. Another valuable metric is the diversity of gut bacteria itself. With current testing methods, it's possible to analyze the composition of the microbial ecosystem using stool samples. These tests provide insights into which bacterial species are thriving, which are lacking, and whether the microbiome is producing the kinds of beneficial metabolites that support overall health. Over time, shifts toward a richer and more balanced microbial population can indicate improved gut integrity, lower inflammation, and a slower aging trajectory. Sleep quality also serves as a useful reflection of internal balance. Tools like heart rate variability, HRV, sleep latency, and deep sleep duration, measured through wearable devices, can reveal how well the nervous system is recovering and whether the body is entering the regenerative states necessary for repair. Better gut function often correlates with deeper, more restorative sleep. Additionally, cognitive clarity and energy levels, while subjective, can be tracked consistently through simple daily journaling or cognitive testing platforms Improvements in memory, reaction time, and mood often parallel internal shifts, such as decreased inflammation and improved nutrient absorption, both heavily influenced by digestive health. Even insulin sensitivity, a critical aspect of metabolic aging, can be monitored through fasting glucose, hemoglobin A1C, or continuous glucose monitoring. These markers often improve as gut health is restored due to better hormonal regulation and reduced systemic stress. These tools make it possible to personalize health interventions, identify what's working, and make course corrections. By aligning choices with data, it becomes much easier to take control over the aging process, not just externally, but at the molecular and cellular level, where real longevity is determined. In the end, the path to slowing premature aging is grounded in something both profound and accessible: the health of your inner ecosystem. By fortifying the intestinal barrier, nurturing a diverse community of microbes, choosing foods that feed repair rather than decay, aligning sleep and movement with circadian biology, and mastering stress instead of being mastered by it, you act directly on the molecular switches that control how quickly you wear down or stay resilient. Remember, inflammation is the silent accelerant of aging, and it often begins in the gut. Each fiber-rich meal that ferments into butyrate, every night of deep restorative sleep, every bout of moderate exercise, and every conscious breath that lowers cortisol is a signal telling your body to conserve youth rather than sacrifice it. The beauty is that these signals are measurable. Track them. Watch inflammatory markers fall, microbial diversity rise, glucose stabilize, heart rate variability strengthen. Let data guide you, not dogma. This is not about perfection or rigid rules. It is about consistent science-backed choices that compound over time. Small daily actions become biological momentum, steering tissues toward repair instead of breakdown, clarity instead of fog, vigor instead of fatigue. Aging is inevitable, but how rapidly its toll accumulates is largely within your control. Treat the gut as the command center it is, and you rewrite the script of your own longevity, earning more healthy years, richer experiences, and a body and mind that keep pace with your ambitions. Begin today. Your future self is already thanking you.